Today, so while I work, I want to talk about things. So here I am, always doing things like a job or something expected of me, just like most people. They work their jobs and stuff. But I have nothing against anybody or anything, really I don't. But think about when we really look deeply into just about anything. Greed and some kind of, discord has become part of just about everything. Say someone who's working this kind of job that I have. I deliver bread. Bread's good. Bread is just wheats and grains from the field, right? Until somebody who wanted to stretch the ingredients, make it last longer, sell it to more people, market it better, give it all these funny flavors, started adding like unhealthy stuff or not as nutritious stuff into it. That's just one little example. I'm just using it for an example, not for any specific reason. But let's move on to stuff like snacks, okay? Before it was a bread route, now it's all, not all, but a lot of like breakfast things like muffins and bagels and desserts and snacks and danishes and all these things. Like on some certain level, people are expected to maintain their own composure when it comes to pigging out on food. But we know that a lot of people can't. So it's not my fault if people overeat or get unhealthy due to the way that they decide to have a menu in their life, I guess. But I myself don't want to, when I started doing this is what I was doing, and I really don't mind that much if people could be conscious of what they eat, and besides all that stuff, that's here nor there. But we all do things that make no sense whatsoever. Let's say someone who works at a fast food restaurant. Not only are they killing animals to feed to people and, frying potatoes and stuff like that and greasy grease that you don't really need. It's not good, healthy fat, shakes and apple pies and chocolate sundaes and all that kind of stuff. It sounds good and they're tasty. But guess what? It's building up inside here and doing stuff to your body. So eventually you're going to have to learn to control yourself, do those kind of things once in a while, and not just let it be a fast grab, I got to have something to eat all the time. Because you can go a week without eating. I'm on number 4 again, day number 4 without any food at all. No food. No, it's not trying to impress nobody, but I'm not tired, I have more energy, but whatever. So let's move on to other things like merchandising. Let's go to any kind of store. They all want to make sure they sell their products, and they want to make sure they, meet quotas and all this kind of stuff. So they push, you push items on people that they don't need at all. We are in a world where our jobs are to capitalize off of, in a way, sort of hypnotizing or talking people into buying what we have. I want you to buy what I have. That's what we're sort of in the market of doing to each other. We didn't mean to do that as kids. When we were little kids, we were thinking like, hey, when I get older, I'm going to outsell you. Either my ideas or my products are going to be more than yours. That's not what we planned on doing when we were young. At least I know I didn't. And just so you know, the reason I have it set up like this is because I don't want to have too many things on the screen. Just because, like I said before, I'm not trying to. I would happily represent whatever words. This is all part of God's play. But I would happily say anything about the company I am associated with. I don't say I work for anybody. I don't work for anybody. I choose this because any day I could just walk away and say I don't do this anymore. I'm not going to do this. This isn't what I choose not to. And nobody could make me fear the consequence of what would happen. Because I'm established within myself, knowing who I am, and knowing that I have the ability to live this life, whether somebody else tells me I have to do this or that, or the other thing. See, we have all been told to follow the directions. So we did. And then the ones of us who did it for long enough realized that we didn't have to follow someone else's directions because inside us we knew what was right. And then after a while, if you just follow everyone else's directions, you start realizing that those other people weren't right. Maybe they were doing okay things according to themselves, not according to you, because your right thing is something that only you can decide. But when it comes to being true and fair to all things, we all know deep down within us what's right and wrong. So for people to act like they don't is just a bunch of crap, really. I mean, think about it. You shouldn't harm your body on purpose. People do it. It's normal, it's natural. We all do it sometimes. When you become conscious, you stop doing it. For some reason, people who hear of things like becoming conscious and stuff like that think it's just a joke. And how would that be a joke? Conscious does not mean you're awake from physical sleep. It means you're awake from spiritual sleep. You're consciously awake. You know what's going on in the world around you. Too many people have no clue what's going on in this world around them. I'll put some edits in here to fill in these spaces, but I figure, I want to work, and I'm always working so much that I don't have time to do what my life purpose is. My life purpose now is to speak to and explain life to people, because I've been there and I've done it. Hello. And spending my whole time working away for somebody else does not make any sense anymore at all. I don't think anyone should work for somebody else. I think we should all get ourselves together to the point where we work together as a community to develop a future where people learn ways to cooperate with their environment and make a life and establish a way of living, a way of community, a way of civilization, where we actually share and don't say this country, this state, that state, but we can have playful games and things like that. But we have to know that it's that. We have to teach our kids from a young level that winning or losing doesn't matter. I mean, it's not that whole saying, winning or losing is just how you play the game. It's somewhat like that, but there's a little deeper than that. Like, no matter what happens, you're fine. And the physical world is one thing, so trying to get into the metaphysical and the spiritual side of it is hard because most people aren't ready to hear that kind of stuff. And I'm totally ready to explain that kind of stuff, but right now I'd rather work on getting us to do things that make sense. Because let's even move on to stuff like, I was saying, the merchandising. Eventually it gets to the point where you're doing what your boss says and say, this thing could be changed and worked a lot better, but that we can't do that because these people already said that this is how we do it. And even though we all agree that it doesn't make sense, we're going to do what this person says. On a bigger level, our country, our everything has turned into that. Because people just don't want to make their own decisions. And when you say that to somebody, like, yeah, I do. No, they don't. They're afraid to make their own decisions because they're afraid to see the outcome of them without already seeing it happen or already knowing what somebody else did in that occasion. But people have to start being a little braver. It's not about ducking and covering and hiding and having security. Your health is your health if you take care of it, not because someone gives you a pill to preserve it. It's stupidity. It's downright stupidity if somebody thinks they're going to preserve their health with some pills. It's stupid. And I hate to say that because I know a lot of people that take pills, people that I love very much. And it's just stupid. But at the same time, those people don't want to go through the effort it takes to get themselves in shape. Age is no factor. The ability you have or what your body condition is really no factor when it comes to the point where you can do something in low impact or something that doesn't require you to really kill yourself physically. But you can start somewhere. People just don't. But I'm going all over the place because I have so much in myself to share with people and to help people with. But it's so hard to help anyone that if they don't want it, you can't give it. You can't say, take my help, take it, it's yours, it's for you. I'd love to, because it's the truth. I have no interest in bettering myself in any financial way or anything like that. Just to live life fully. Let it flow like water. Water! Why not? What are your expectations of life? What are your expectations? Well, and I always say all the time, whenever I get to start saying it in front of the camera, especially when I'm working and trying to keep track of stuff, I can't really count the way I would like to, and I have to organize all this stuff for work. Because on top of stuff, you know, there's people who, they won't listen to cooperate with somebody else that has another idea, because I think some people fear others have better ideas than them. And that's okay too, you know, whatever. We do what we do, they say. And why? Because people told us to. And we're good boys and girls and we follow along just accordingly. We should stop doing that so much. Because it's sort of silly. Quite silly. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say for now. Until next time, peace.